green flag. Biggity, biggity, biggity. Let's go racing, boys.
Yeah, fuck me. Neil.
And we're fucking live.
I'm gonna get y'all one of those little action camera things.
Oh, the little clipboard,
the clackers.
Yep.
Yeah, they help with syncing.
One
ready?
Fucking help shit.
Ready and
for manglers.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Dirty Sliders podcast. Tonight we have the one, the only Joe Kot, driver of a pure stock at Barona Speedway. He got a little bit of fun this weekend, along with some of the other sliders. They went out, had some fun, got a little dirty, did a little sliding, and let's talk about what we all fucked up. So for me, I fucked up the RV. That door is not working anymore. Not my fault. I have a toddler. So next up, Mr. Brandon, what did you fuck up?
Well, you see what had happened was.
Let's go.
Well,
so who caused the toddler? You.
Right, yeah.
Like I said, I fucked up.
So that's what he fucked up. He wrecked some guts, apparently.
I don't think you can reach.
Don't be.
I'll never tell.
No, good point.
All right, Brandon, what'd you mess up this weekend?
Well, let's start off with 27 pure stocks checked into the Barona Speedway, which is fucking phenomenal. Huge shout out to the fucking pure stock division. 27 cars is a lot. Well, since I sucked the first race out, I started on the pole of the heat race, which was helpful. With
you were sandbagging.
I started alongside the guy that was leading the Dirty Sliders pure stock points last race.
As of last episode, I was still leading.
And then as of this episode, he is no longer leading.
I'm not.
Who's leading you? Who's leading you there, Bridger? This is the question.
I don't know. Some dingus.
Anyways, I started on the pole, wire to wire. Shout out to John Tuttle, our wrench guy. He got his first start in the pure stock division on Saturday in our heat race. Me, Bridger, and John. He only got half spun around, or he did go all the way around with contact from the 19S. Straightened it out and did a hammer down the infield of the back straightaway before he figured out that he wasn't on the track. But he found the track.
So yeah, if you watch the 7-0X video on that, for a second there, I thought he was going to turn onto the kids' track.
I thought so. I was coming out of the turn 2, and I was seeing the rooster tails going down the infield of the back straightaway, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Then he came out on the track, and I was like, "Oh, okay, now I understand." But
by the way,
GPS on the car.
Being the first of Dirty Sliders is like sitting in the front seat of the retard bus. You're still retarded.
Yeah.
So I led that wire to wire. Started third in the main event of the 20 cars starting. We had a rookie on the pole, Jacob Novak. Shout out to that kid. He's actually really damn good and only his second race in a pure stock. Started on the pole. Lap 2, got down into turn 1 and 2. Unfortunate set of circumstances sent him, myself, Randy Aldridge to the back on lap 2, so we all went to the back. I was called for the caution. Watching the video, it looks like the 79 lost it before I made contact. Either way it goes, we made contact. I went to the back, the new rule at Barona Speedway. If a caution comes out, any cars that are stopped on the track are automatically involved, and they go to the back. One car might be charged. You might not be charged with it, but if you're stopped on the track during a caution, to the back you go.
Yep.
So,
well, clarification on that, though, because that's going to come up later.
Mm-hmm. Well, the clarification on that deal is a little different in the sport mod division because the caution had come out prior to that guy spinning out. So that's why that guy got his spot back. But the clarification will come later in the sport mod conversation. Anyways,
so you can't stop to avoid?
So you can. It's obviously going to be on a call basis.
Judgment
from,
call, yeah.
A judgment call. But refired off from the back of the field on lap 2 and running through traffic. It was pretty fun, actually. It was actually really fun to run through traffic. A lot
It's
of
fun when
battles
you
in the
pass
gear
people.
stocks. Dude, let me tell you something. I was watching the video, the replay, simply because I made it up and finished 4th. So I'm ecstatic about that because it was a fun race.
You're welcome.
But the shout out I gave to Jacob Novak, that kid followed me through traffic from the back. And I was like, God dang, that kid was like literally a car or two behind me the entire way through the field until he got collected in somebody else's mess. But I got a couple laps racing side by side with Joe, which was pretty fun up until some shenanigans happened. in turn
Something else
2
happened.
that we'll get to. And just why don't we talk about that now, Joe? What happened
Oh,
in turn
yeah.
2?
Let me ask you
since it
one
was
thing
right
real
in
quick,
front of
Brandon.
me?
Oh, what did you get it on video, Brandon?
No,
They have it
don't
right in
have-
front of you.
Somebody doesn't have an in-car camera. I know.
Loser.
Somebody needs to come see me.
Sponsored by Mill Run Tools,
on.
Neil and Roundy Miller.
I guess we're gonna have to make a trip over to Poway on
I would
somebody's,
pick something up for you today, bud. That is not an excuse that's allowed to have with the Dirty Sliders. We may not
No.
be technologically savvy, but we can spend a few bucks.
So now I got to come up with an in-car clamp. Okay, but I can do that. Though. That's the
You
easy
can
part.
come up with accessories. I'm not supplying everything,
I'll get the accessories.
and it's
but
not even used. I got you a new one.
what a hell of a guy!
Not a sponsor, but Joe's Racing Products makes a pretty badass roll bar clamp for GoPros.
Well, Joe's Racing Products,
There
hit
you
us
go.
up. They could be. We're not stingy.
So before that, I was running 4th or 6th, and 2 cars in front of me decided to play grab ass and rub shovels down into turn 2, and it caused some accident right in front of me. And I was like, evasive maneuver to the right, hopefully nobody was up there, which they weren't, which is great. But Joe, what the hell's going on up there, buddy?
Well, let's see, right? Heat race start. I also had a pretty shitty first night. Thermostat housing decided to blow up. Well, started.
Hold on. Since you're new to the program and a guest, give us a
Who
little
are you?
background. Who are you?
Yeah.
How you got into racing? What you do for a living? All that good stuff.
So,
What are the classes you've driven?
so Joe Kot, my name, Jr., named after my dad. I am currently active duty Marines on my 6th year. Been mechanic my entire life. My dad started racing pure stocks at Hummingbird Speedway in Reynoldsville, PA in 2001 with a 3rd-gen Camaro running against literally the cars we're running now. Uncle in 03. My dad won his first championship in 2003 in a pure stock, moved up in 05 to a street stock. Uncle, I think he got his first championship in 2006 in the pure stock, both running 3rd-gen Camaros. Went to the racetrack every single Saturday during racing season.
Nice.
If I wasn't in school, I was in the garage. Until I found out what ass was.
And then you joined the Marines and figured out your favorite flavor.
Yeah, figured out my favorite flavor of cran is green.
Good.
I thought you were going to say dudes, but okay.
No.
No, that's the Navy there, buddy.
Yeah,
No.
The transporters of the Marines.
The Marines are a department of the Navy. They just happen to like men.
Yeah, well, my dad has 3 total track championships at Hummingbird Speedway, 1 in pure stock, 2 in street stock, back-to-back 2010 and 2011. 1 was 3-link rear suspension, 1 was 4-link rear suspension because they decided to take it away from him. My uncle has now 6 track championships, 1 pure stock, 5 in the super lights.
Damn.
My uncle has, I think, a combined over 60 wins in 3 separate classes.
Nice.
Nice.
My dad has somewhere between 30 and 40.
Dang.
In other news,
Mike-
Larson passed 10,000 laps led this weekend.
In the next gen car, yeah.
Yeah, 10,000 laps. That's a couple.
Third one.
What a boring race. But anyway, go on.
Well, we covered it.
Finally got to drive anything with meant for racing at least. In 2016, drove a buddy's go-kart for him because he had surgery on his shoulder. Place was called Race 1 in PA. Ran it 3 times, won a little bit there. No features though. And then finally got into a late model, semi-late at Hummingbird Speedway at the end of 2017. Ran full season at Hummingbird in 2018 with some on and off at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Finished 7th in points my rookie season and then joined the Marines right after that. Well, went out to Okinawa and then came to Pendleton. I'm like, I know there's racetracks around. Let's go look for them. Lord and behold, before I even got to the track, I had a car.
Perfect.
Bought Gearhart's old car. Did what I needed to get it to at least my minimum standards of running. Took it out on the track June of last year.
Yep. Then you met us. Then you met us, and it's all downhill from here.
I wouldn't say downhill.
Well,
Downhill.
Well,
No.
Saturday looked like it was
going.
going. It was going downhill for you pretty quick there Saturday.
Well, I ran 5 times last year. First time, filled the car out, filled the track out. Got lapped, had a little incident there too with the number 9 car. But blew the right front off the tire because I was trying to run late model pressures
Right.
in a car without bead locks. And then thanks to Brandon, I'm not doing that anymore.
Need a couple more pounds there, buddy.
Oh yeah, try 8. Well, now I'm running this season here, full season. Well, let's see.
How'd your heat race go this week?
Saturday, heat race. Started first, led the first 3 laps. According to Brandon, I was running a little too high. 21V got me, pushed me up in 1 and 2. Nothing up there. Finished second. Put me starting outside front row for the feature.
Good place to start.
Took the lead with Novak's kid. And then Brandon was back there in third, putting around.
Hey, the first race of the season, I came by you at a turn number 4 like you were parked, but
Yeah,
Stop bringing up
Rules.
old shit. Stop bringing up old shit.
okay, well, this race too, I fucking came from the back and got door to door with the guy, and he started up front too. But I went to the back and came back and caught up to him. Continue on with your nonsense.
Well, led the first, I think, race pass said like 3-4 laps. And then the 9 car got around me. There was a couple cautions in there. 9 car got around me. And then one Randy Aldridge decided to make it 3 wide coming out of 4 to take a restart. Ended up shoving me way up out of nowhere. Lost 5 spots, put me back to 6th. Got myself around the 00, put me back to 5th, behind a 15. Before I knew it, there was a junky old 77 on my inside at one point.
Must be embarrassing for you if that shit piles up next to you, buddy.
Well, last time I checked, that car didn't get around me.
Huh, that's interesting. Let's look at the finishing order.
Well, let's see what happened for that finishing order. Well, coming out of 4 on, I don't know. I don't even know what lap it was. Somewhere after 10. Looked to my inside. There was no 77. There's a nice giant junk car in front of me. Decided he wanted to go high. So I shot for the gap on the bottom. My car stuck. Next thing I know, he's on my door. I couldn't go any lower because my left side tires were on the berm. Well, he decides to spin his car out. So I keep going. Nothing, no damage to my car. My car was perfectly fine. And then next thing I know, 38 to the rear. You are the cause of that caution. Like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah. So this is a good place to stop you, Joe, because I have got some screenshots of the incident. So let's discuss. You guys ready?
Uh-oh. John's bringing receipts.
Roll the tape.
Receipts. I'm not. And let's just.
The old man of the group put his glasses on, so this must be pretty good.
It must be. Okay, so I've got, I think, 6 pictures from the one that the alleged incident that happened with. This is from the video that the other party posted online, contesting that Joe was driving above his ability.
Actually,
So
I believe
here-
I posted that video.
I see
Oh, was that you? I thought it was the
the
other.
white car.
Yeah, there's that piece of shit car on the inside. Joe's the red one, and it's hard to see because this is far away, but we have the other party on the outside, like Joe said, going kind of mid to high. That's going into 1. Now we'll go up here. Here we go. And Joe's shooting for the gap. The other car's still pretty mid to high. Again, hard to see because it's far away, but he's up there.
Looks like the 77 is being courteous and locks the brakes up there.
The
so it doesn't plow
77
into
is being
38.
courteous. I will give you that. This is a historic day. The 77 was courteous.
Yeah.
So again, hard to see. Flag stands in the way, but you got the 77 here. You got Joe here. There's Joe's nose. It's nice and white. He is clearly up to or past the door of this other party. Here we go, past the pole. Everybody's still going straight here, making the turn. Then seems to me like the other party tries to pinch the red car down into the corner. And then the little red right there is the other party's front. And just the 38 there. You can see him pretty clearly not messing things up as far as I'm concerned. But that's it. And the only other one we have from, I know we talked about 7-0X here, is he usually concentrates a lot more on leaders, but we got Randy Aldridge here. I think at the time he was running 3rd. You see the 77's nose here on the far right corner there.
That's his door.
Yeah, you're way past his door. He should have seen you. So, yeah, I think he tried to pinch you and paid the price.
But that's not all from that incident.
No, there's more. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get 2 pieces of tea.
Well, let's see. I get told to go to the rear. I'm like, what the fuck? Pissed off. No, I'm going to turn 1 and 2 where the incident happened. And I sit there, wait for the field to go around me. Next thing I know, a black piece of shit decides to swerve at me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just pass you clean. Get up there. They put us double file for the restart. And then next thing we know, over the receiver, single file. So I let off, put my car in neutral, let it coast. We get ready to go green. This guy decides he wants to be 4 cars back from the car in front of him. I give him a little tap. Next thing I know, I'm getting brake checked.
Yeah. I heard that crash.
I don't. Anyway. Whatever. If you look at any video, you'll see how far back I am from the restart. Because I guess officials aren't paying attention to the back of the field anymore. Well, we go finish the race. I ended up passing like 2 cars because they were getting all squirrely and everything. Well, end of the race. I don't understand it, but why is it in the back of the field in the pure stock class? Everybody's checking up coming out of 4 instead of racing to the line. Ended up ass packing, I don't even know what car because I'm still racing to the fucking line. Anyway, it wasn't even the same car that I ass packed. I know that. Well, coming off the track, I see that black junk fucking car waiting down there for me. So I stop. I start taking my shit off nice and slow, take my neck brace off. He's not moving. So I say, fuck it. I'm going to creep up slow because I'm not dealing with this shit. I get going. Once I get up, probably my nose to his bumper because he left just enough room for everybody to get past him. Once I get there, I dump the clutch and mat it. And there was contact. Don't know if that contact was my fault for slamming it or if he actually turned into me. I did have a GoPro. I have not plugged it in yet. But I hope to God it didn't die before then.
Right.
If it didn't, it will be on Facebook.
Well, so
there's that.
well,
Yep.
So that's different than what I heard. I heard that he was waiting at the bottom and intentionally ran into you at the bottom of the ramp. You're saying that may not be the case.
Well, I try to get around him cleanly. I will say that. When he was waiting down there, I wasn't intending on hitting anybody. After the race, I don't fucking want that shit to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to anybody else. I don't even want to do it. So, like I said, I don't think it was me. I wouldn't do it on purpose. I can guarantee that.
Well, and the other thing is, let's quit dancing around who it was. It's Cody Parento.
Yep.
If you're gonna be involved in shit like this, we're gonna call you out. If he did wait for you at the bottom of the ramp with the intent to hit you, then that removes all his argument for everything that happened before that. Because even if he's 100% right, you wrecked him, it's your fault. You dumped him, you ran into the back of him, he wasn't braking checking. If all that was 100% true, sitting there at the bottom of the ramp and waiting for somebody to wreck him at in the pits, essentially, you're a piece of shit. And I'm just gonna call it like I see it.
Well, I will say last year I had my problems with Cody Parento also, but my deal was he didn't even say anything to me. It was mainly his uncle that came over, old Elvis looking ass. We got a problem, my nephew. We're gonna have problems. Well, the guy, first of all, it's not the first time Cody Parento's been in trouble for this type of retaliation type of stuff. When he was running pony stocks, I'm sure Kyle Bethel, if we got him on here, he would have some choice words because both of those guys were on probation at one time for the shenanigans. Last year I was door to door with the guy coming out of turn 2, and he pretty much drove me all the way to the fence. If I wouldn't have lifted, we're both junk in race cars. So it's not the first time the guy's driven like that.
Yep.
And I will say we kneeled and sent him an invite to come to the show so we could talk it out. He declined that invitation. So whatever said here, I mean, that's what happens.
Well, and I know the Parento's going way back to Barona Speedway. Bill was racing a mini stock out there, and Ron Nava and he were good friends. The Parento's back in the Cajon days used to make almost all the fiberglass bodies for the almost all the cars out there. They had all the molds and stuff, and I know they made a ton of pieces for the mini stocks or pony stocks or whatever the heck they're calling them now at Barona now. So I mean, I remember Cody when he was just a little snot-nosed kid running around the pits.
I mean, for the longest time, I thought they were picking on the guy because the guy can drive. I mean, when he wants to, Cody Parento can drive a car. I will not take that away from the guy. He can drive, but he can also not necessarily drive the way that other folks would like him to drive. His car's fast. He can drive the car. How he chooses to drive his car kind of gets him in these predicaments because he will put his car necessarily not where it should be going in order to try to move himself forward, which is what a lot of us do. I've done it. Now I've stuck my car in 3 wide when I had no business doing it. Sometimes that's what you do. I mean, but you also got to take a little patience in the first half of the race before you start tearing shit up.
Well, and I watched the video from Sharon Wilder. Shout out to Sharon Wilder. She's out there videoing almost every week. And that's probably the best view of what happened. And it just, to me, even though we're looking at it from completely across the track, you can pretty much clearly see what happened. Joe stuck it in on the bottom, and Cody came down for whatever reason. Either he came down because he was, trying to run Joe over the berm, or if he just didn't see him and didn't know he was down there. But I didn't see any modification of Joe's line to cause that contact. So
no, Cody was simply trying to chop the nose down. It's notorious move, right? And most of us that race cars, all of us here have raced a car. You see somebody get to your inside going through the corner. If you get a glimpse of that nose not being at your door, you're going to start chopping the line down most of the time. However, it looked like Joe was clearly at
was
the
clearly
door,
at his
and,
door.
and he was trying to be. I mean, that's called bully racing. If I can start chopping you off and get you to check up a little bit, and we keep it going, then I bullied you out of that position, right? Instead of
Right.
you being able to take the spot. So I mean,
But
I understand what he was trying to do, but the execution was poor.
right, and like you say, he can drive a car. I've seen him do it also. But at that point, do you bully him in the corner where it's gonna screw both of you, possibly even more than it screwed you guys in junk stuff, or keep your line, wait till you get down the backstretch and do that kind of start inching kind of bullying? And I mean, it's spur of the moment. I know when you're in the car, you don't think like that.
Well, at that point, if he would have let Joe through there, I was coming through also, so he wasn't going to lose one spot. He's losing multiple spots.
That's the
right?
thing, Brandon. He never would have seen you. He probably didn't even know you were right there.
Right, but me being on your bumper as I was, as you could clearly see in the pictures, right? I was there.
But who was pulling on you?
No, you guys weren't pulling on anything because you could clearly see my nose turn to the right about 3/4 of the way through that corner when I seen the nonsense get ready to unfold.
But hey, I actually was courteous to you and looked, and you weren't there. And then I saw a hole, and I went for it. One thing I remember growing up, if you don't go for a hole that's there, why race?
Right.
And Joe's probably not going to agree with this, but I want to give a shout out to the Barona track officials for making the call. Whether you agree with the call or not, the fact that they're making calls is something that is a change from past performances. They would just generally would stay away from that call.
Hey, and like I said to start this, I thought the 79 was going around before I made contact, but at the end of the night, I still went up to Eric Evans. And Thomas was there. I told him they did a phenomenal job. Did I feel like I should have went to the back? No. Am I mad? No. You guys did a job. That was your job to make a call. You guys made the call, made that decision. I wasn't the only one affected. We went to the back and we worked our way back to the front.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, I understand official decision. It is what it is.
Yeah.
My question is when I raced at Barona, there were some shenanigans on the exit ramp of the track, and the track didn't do anything about it back then. When are they going to start clamping down on that shit? Because you're going to start seeing some problems.
Well, I will tell you this. Eric put out at the end of the night, he's going to be down in staging for 15 minutes or however long he needs to be there. And anybody has an opinion about the night, good, bad, or indifferent, come down and talk to him as the race director and solve the problem. I will say after the race, I was down there because Joe was down there and he not necessarily was in a good mood, but he wasn't the only person down there talking about that incident. Somebody else, not even involved in the incident, came down there and said, hey, this is what I seen on the exit road. We should probably have a conversation about it. Eric said they were going to have a conversation. What came of the conversation? That's between whoever had that conversation.
Well, I know I've been the recipient of somebody's temper on pit exit, and there was a certain LEO that threatened to come put silver bracelets on me because I got a little hot over it.
No, he didn't threaten to put silver bracelets on you. I extended him the invitation to put silver bracelets on you, and he declined.
Oh, well.
God, it sounds so much nicer the way Raz says it.
Well, to tell the whole story, he said, "Well, Phil touched him. That's assault." I said, "Well, you're a fucking cop. Go arrest him." And I said, "Oh, by the way, take some help."
I'm fairly certain for anybody that doesn't know, you can ask Neilton, you can ask Raz. When Phil would be in a race car, he'd come out, and if he went into the trailer and there was steam rolling off his forehead, if he was starting to come back out in the other direction, somebody has to stop him from leaving the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny any of that statement.
I mean, I will say, I think that this iteration of the director management dynamic is going to be different. Last year, I said that the Speedway motto should be "pack your shit and get out," because that was pretty much what. If you disagreed, that was what they said. I think Brandon heard it 3 or 4 times last year. Pack your shit and get out. And that's goes back to a conversation we've had on the podcast. Do they need us or do we need them? It's both ways. So I think if they've got other witnesses other than Joe and Cody to what happened on Exit Road, something is going to happen. What? I don't know.
There was a couple cars behind me as well.
Well, that's what I said. I overheard other people down there talking about that same incident, and they were going to have that conversation with the race director. And obviously, you were down there, Joe. You talked to Eric.
Yep.
He took each and every individual that came down there with something to say off to the side to have a personal conversation, so you didn't have 30 people listening to the conversation. It was between you and the race director. And I thought that was a really good move on Eric's part, so you don't have any drama starting
absolutely
from that.
Well, and I think there's been enough crap that's happened on that exit ramp where it's time to either post an official up there, which is not practical. It'd be really hard to do, or hey, put a camera up. I know that Barona kind of has the policy, well, we don't use video, but the thing is that would be an instance where if everybody knows there's a camera watching what you're doing, hey, you might not do so much crap.
Right.
Or put one there and don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, there you go. That too.
Sponsored by us, Mill Run Tools, Nilden Roundy Miller, Snap-on franchisee.
Speaking of which, I need some tools.
Bridger, you were in our class this weekend. How'd you do?
I guess I was in your class for at least 8 laps. I did not so bad. Car got off. I put a new battery in it, so it started, so that was helpful.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. That was just to get it off the trailer. Joe helped. So, but I got the battery in. Joe helped me a lot on that. And, when I got in there, started it up, and for the heat race, started, I don't even know where I started. I think I was outside.
Outside next to me.
front row outside. Oh, that's right. Brandon talked about that. It was running a little warm, but I was like, oh, I just put water in it. No biggie. It ran fine. I came in 4th, tried to sneak out a 3rd place and transfer on the last lap when Randy Aldridge washed up a little bit in 3 and 4, but didn't quite get there on him. So put some water in the radiator, figured, all right, we'll run cooler. Went out to start up for the B main. Started up, ran a little rough for a few seconds, and then smoothed out. It was fine. I'm like, okay, let's go out. Ran some pace laps to pack the track in because they watered it while the kids were out there because it was 100+ degrees during the day, so it got dry real quick. But they watered it. We packed it in. Car was running fine. Came to green. Car ran fine all the way to the exit of 2 and then dropped a cylinder somehow. So pulled into the hot pits and my night was done. But that's racing.
Real quick,
so,
I want to give a shout out to the guys prepping the track. The track was fucking beautiful.
It was good. For the
minivan.
8.5 laps I got to run on it.
Yeah, heat racing. It was a 1-lane track, but
Did you find the cylinder? You said you dropped it.
I'm pretty sure we dropped a cylinder because did I find it on the track? No. It's still in the race car, hopefully.
Oh.
Nothing windowed out, nothing exploded and caught fire like I usually do. So
You're learning.
So we got John Tuttle, JT Motorsports and Fabrication. He was on it. As Brandon said earlier, he raced his first race Saturday night with us. I talked to him on Sunday. He said he couldn't come down off the adrenaline rush. Stayed up till like 3:30 in the morning watching movies Saturday night. And then his internal clock woke him up at 6:30 the next morning. He went out to the barn, was futzing around. He said he sat down on his bed at 10 o'clock and his butt welded itself to his bed Sunday. And he sat there and watched some IMSA racing, was watching some off-road. He was watching Herbst in the off-road race and stuff. But yeah, he was whooped. So he was going to try and get to it today. I haven't heard from him, but he'll figure it out. Hopefully it's nothing major, valve spring or something, he thinks, but it still cranks. It just, you can tell there's one cylinder not going all the way. So hopefully we'll be back out there. I'm not going to make the next one because I got stuff going on, but we'll be back out there in 4 weeks for me.
So that brings up Soper from the Barona Speedway Sport Mod Division.
What with the tattoo? Imka.
Hot water
Mr.
heater.
Microwave.
Yeah,
Overwatered
we had
himself.
a pretty good weekend. Main event had some problems, but we'll get there. So the heat race, because the first race of the year, we went out and broke a spindle, smacked a wall that had us 12th out of 13 in points. So IMCA starts based off your point average, and your lowest point start in front. So that put you starting pole of a heat race, which by the way, four mods this weekend. That's good for us. So
Yep.
So puts me starting pole of the heat race, take the green flag, I take the lead. We have one caution halfway through, let every lap transfer onto the feature. That puts me starting outside front row for the feature. Jake Triska's on the inside. By the way, I got to say, I like Jake Triska's paint scheme, that wrap he's got on his
That's
car.
a
I think
good
it looks
looking
really
car.
good.
That is a good
I think it looks
car.
really good. Yep. So I start on the outside of Jake Triska. We take the green flag, drag race down in 1 and 2, and I've got the lead coming off of 2. I lead first 12 laps, couple of cautions in there. Coming down, we're going into 3 and 4. Full song down the back straightaway, set the car into the, and as I'm setting the car, Eric Evans says, caution, caution, caution in 4. Because this is kind of on me. I was watching for my mark on the track where I set the car in, and so I wasn't quite looking up to see where the caution was at. But as soon as Eric said caution, I look up. You've got the 62 car parked backwards, kind of towards the bottom of the track. So the line I was running was kind of setting and then running down the hill up off the corner. Track was really dried off, had a lot of character in it, tons of bumps, would upset the car super bad. But if you got it just right, there was a rut entering 3. You set the car in just right, just below that rut. You could kind of sail off into the corner and then get bite and go down the corner, which is where I'm at. So I got to gather the car up and I shoot back up the track. Well, the 47 of Stephen Luch was apparently sending it full song on the high side, and I mean he's behind me, so I didn't know it. So he locks him up, trying
And
to
paying
keep him
attention.
hitting me. Well, he didn't see him either.
Nobody saw him.
Nobody saw him. So he locks it up, trying to stop from hitting me because I'm coming back up the track. And this is kind of where that conversation we were having about cautions and whatnot.
Mind
I mean,
you, the caution's already out at this point.
It was stated in the drivers' meeting, to my recollection, and I think I'm pretty good on this, that if the yellow comes out and you're stopped on the track, at the time the yellow comes out, if you are stopped on the track, you are going to the back. You may not be charged, like we said earlier, but you are stopped when the yellow comes out, you're going to the back. They said, now, for instance, if everybody's wadded up in front of you and you're spinning the car out not to pile up already, that's a different story. But at the time, so we come into 3 and 4, me and him both on the throttle set in the car, and the yellow's out. Eric says yellow before the light is on. Caution's already out. Then Steven spins to keep hitting me, that because I'm trying to avoid hitting the 62 who's parked on the bottom of the track facing upwards. On that caution, they docked me 2 spots because the previous early.
How early did you leave, Soper?
I took off early.
How early?
So, told. I went down after the race and talked to Robert, and I was like, hey, man, Robert Chavez is the flagman over there. I said, hey, man, how early was I? Where was I at? And he said, you're at the B on the ball auto sign. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I know it's out there, but I don't know where it's at. And we walked around to the track entrance, 3 and 4 there. And the B is 1.5 feet, 18 inches from the start pole. That's how early I was, according to him.
1.5 feet.
I go back and watch videos. 7-0X. Haven't watched Mike Charlton's video. I need to do that. I've watched my in-car. Steven was third, starting outside second row. I think I was probably closer to 4 or 5 feet, to be honest with you. Just kind of trying to piece together the different angles, trying to figure it out. Either which way, early is early. We had a conversation about that afterwards. You know, Eric, Robert, all those guys seemed like they were on the same page. There used to be a delineator cone on the bottom of the track, on the orange pole on the outside, to show you where that restart zone starts at. Because, I mean, anybody who's driven a car, you can't enter the restart zone with the restart pole being on the right side. And you're going like this, trying to turn left going into the start the car.
Right.
So that's gonna be a change. They're gonna add a cone down there. They're gonna put it on a string so that whenever the restarts happen, they can pull the cone out of the way so nobody clocks it and takes it out later on in the race.
Nah, put it on an
That's
RC
gonna be
car.
good.
Putting
Little
on an
Rico car.
RC car.
Yeah. So
Guy hits some trigger the wrong
speaking of
direction, goes
Rico-
out into traffic.
Hate to
Hey,
put
I'm
a
not done
positive,
yet.
but
Hey, stop it.
my
Stop
man.
it. Nope,
Hold on.
stop it.
It's
Stop it.
breaking
Stop.
news.
Stop. Stop. No.
No, it's not. We
Stop
talked
it.
about that while you were in and out and gone.
Yeah,
Head-
while you were cutting your trees down, we talked about that.
So
Yeah.
puts me now. I'm docked. Now I'm docked too. They did give Steven his spot back. So got the lead. Jake's second, and then I'm third outside of Jake. And I, with myself, I'm at the time sitting in the car. Yes, I'm like, I don't think I jumped. There's no way I jumped. I was right there. So yeah, I was heated. I was mad. We take the green flag. I started the race on the outside of Jake, and I beat him off the corner. I told myself, I said, just do it again. Just do it again. So we take the restart. I think it takes me a lap to get around Jake, but I do get around Jake, and I'm second to Steven. And like I said, the track had a ton of character, a ton of ruts. So the cars were bouncing all over the place, upsetting the cars. So was watching the line Steven was running. He was a little high. It seemed like he was having a little problem with the ruts than I was trying to keep it low off those. Like I could probably back up to him and give him a run for his money. Well, then I sent it in a little too fast. I mean, just a little too fast. And I ended up spinning the car out, parking completely the wrong direction on the berm and watching everybody park the seas in front of me. That was scary. That put me restarting 12th. And I don't know, 4 or 5 laps, whatever it was, I was back up to 7th. And that's where I finished at. I did have the fastest lap time of the race. So, you know, the car was quick. I was running fast laps the whole time. I mean, the track was a lot of character, super, super blue groove. I thought on the bottom. I mean, you could run up top, but you weren't getting no time up there. You weren't passing anybody up there unless you were
I'll
way
tell you
faster.
this, Soper, you were stinking the place up the first part of that deal. If the cautions don't come out, you're gone. Nobody's catching
You were killing it, like I said. You were killing it. You were Steve and Brandon and myself, and we were all sitting around going, God damn it, Soper, you got this, man. And I didn't say it out loud, but I thought to myself, I'm like, Soper, just think about that tattoo. Think about what that tattoo says. This race is yours. I said,
Little rub.
said
Little
that-
rub.
said that to myself for about 3 laps, and then you stopped thinking about that tattoo, and you freaking stepped on your dick.
So you talked it into existence, you dickhead.
I didn't talk. It was in my brain. I did not put it out loud. But like I say,
You can blame Bridger, fucking Soper.
blame me. That's fine. I'll take it. But Thomas knows I went up there after the race to see how our boy was doing, because I knew he wasn't going to be happy with the getting called for jumping and, you know, spinning out when he was doing so freaking good. And as soon as I got there, his wife looks at me and goes, yeah, he had to take a walk. I'm like, I get that. And then Steve and the group, we started talking. It's like, you get going and you get in your head. You're like, I'm doing so good. I can take this. And you drive, like Thomas said, just a little too fast. And there's where the edge is.
Well, speaking of getting knocked 2 spots for jumping the start, Eric also called his kid for jumping the start of Pure Stock race. And
Yes, he
that
did.
sent Christopher back from first to third and ultimately finished in the 3rd position because we only had 4 or 5 laps to go when he got docked.
That probably
Yeah,
made
so I
Mother's
was gonna
Day a weird dinner.
Yeah, and I was gonna get to all that. the actual folks who made that call for who jumped the start was the fire truck crew. And when you put everything together, whether you like it or not, the fire truck crew has the most direct line of sight from the restart pole to the inside. So it makes sense, and I understand it. Not like, again, not upset. And I mean, they called me a foot early. I think I was probably even earlier than that, to be honest with you. But no, they've been trying to get the races going pretty fast. And Joe, you had said earlier that you were 15 car lengths back and they were coming to green. And that was the same thing, man. After I spun, I was coming off of 2 and Steven's entering 3 and 4, and they're like going green, and everybody's stacking up. I mean, they're trying to get the show in. It sucks. It's not fun, but at the same time, like, you got what you got,
Well, that's the thing. Coming out of 2 to take the green, I was up with the field, and then I got brake checked.
You guys were all doing it. I don't know who. I mean, I say you guys, at the whole pure stock field. I'm sitting there in staging on the second row outside, and I'm sitting there waiting for you guys to come to green, and all I hear is fucking.
Joe, he's that guy when he was leading the main event coming to green. We went from fucking like 2,500 RPMs down to like 1,500 going into turn 3, and I was like, this fucking guy.
I'm not going to say how I was doing it. You're not going to like the manual.
And here he comes complaining about somebody else doing it.
Yeah, you're not going to like this, but the fucking rule is whatever speed you carry coming off of 2, you carry all the way around till you go to green. There's no fucking around when you get down there to 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're not a fucking grab ass guy.
I wasn't fucking around either.
Well, you're the one that started it, buddy, because it all started when you were fucking coming to green.
Fucking people locking the brakes, it was fucking crazy when you're fucking people locking them the fuck up.
Well, having been in the middle of a couple of those, it's because, again, you can't see a ton in front of you, and the guy in front of you is not paying attention, and he freaking hits the guy, and you're just like, oh, shit. Next thing you know, you got a 20-car pileup in the...
The old accordion effect is also
exactly
because you make contact with the guy in front of you, then you're waiting for it. And then wham! The dude behind you's definitely not paying attention. He's smoked in the ass.
All I have to say is, if you are going on the backstretch with your front bumper attaching his back bumper, you can't hit him again.
Right.
Speaking of restarts,
yeah. Well, so there was one in the modified where they docked a guy for jumping the restart, but he was second row, and when they took the restart, before the leader ever went off, he was already halfway down the leader's door. I mean, it's a Delaware double flop, so the leader's by himself, and the second row is door to door, wheel to wheel behind the leader. Well, if the leader decides he wants to take off from the high side, that gives the bottom guy the chance to cut. And that, I mean, the guy that got called for it was halfway up his car before the leader ever took off, which is obviously another issue. But they called it, so they're holding people accountable, which is what we've asked for, right? They calls is holding people accountable.
Speaking of restarts, when I was up front,
I'm kidding, buddy.
I'll be honest. I was trying to play some restart zone games.
Mm-hmm. I could hear it.
Brandon, where do you usually start? Do you start at the pole?
Huh? No,
he's not going to tell you.
I wait till the dude behind me tags me in the ass, and then I fucking take off once he lifts. You can tell when he lifts.
Well, most people think, oh, restart zone? Once I hit it, I'm going. Well, I was trying to play some games. Yeah. Well, I was getting shoved through the restart zone.
Because you were slowing down, dickhead.
I was all right, go.
Right.
Maintain your RPMs. Maintain the same RPMs you got out of turn 2 down the back straightaway and into the restart zone and pick it up wherever the fuck you want to pick it up, but keep the damn RPMs the same that you got it set at coming out of 2.
Okay, well, look here. I get the restart zone games taking off early, late, making them guess where you're going to go. For me, it's different, man. When I get the restart zone, I am going to take off as soon as I know that my car's going to hook and go, because there's a damn good chance, 95% chance, that the people behind me are not going to be able to hook and go, and they're going to be pedaling it coming up off the corner.
So, cutting you chuckleheads off, there's some other tracks that race that, not just Barona.
Well, damn it, man. We were having a good time.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I do want to give a shout out. I wasn't here last week, but I do want to give a shout out to Caleb Montgomery for his win at Santa Maria Speedway. That was special for a couple different reasons. Number one, I'm a big Santa Maria guy, so that was pretty neat. also that track is special to Caleb. That is, he considers that his home turf. He wants to defend that. And I don't know if I shared his video where he was just going ape shit in the cockpit. He calls it the dick. He calls it the dick pit. Going ape shit in the dick pit of that car. And he was pointing to the infield. What people don't know was he was pointing to his dad, who ran at Santa Maria Speedway. And I got to tell you, having raced with my dad at Santa Maria Speedway, I know how special that win was to be able to share that with his dad. So that was pretty neat. But he went from the penthouse to the outhouse and flipped his dick off at Antioch Speedway this past Saturday.
Yeah.
Junked his car. But
It
Santa
was
Maria
fast.
Santa Maria Speedway brings up a pretty interesting thing. I noticed this in looking at the videos, and I wanted to share it with you guys. They're doing something a little different. Let me see here if I could find it.
We are not experts.
So
that I've zoomed this picture in a lot, but that's the backstretch at Santa Maria Speedway. Can you tell what the wall is?
Is that containers?
Sea containers.
Yeah.
Sea containers. So that's all the way down the length of the backstretch. They've stacked sea containers there. I've never seen a track do that.
They're
I mean,
cheap.
smart.
Good for billboards.
It's smart.
Keep you in the park too.
Yeah, it'll keep you in the park. You can see where the fence ends, basically right at the sea container.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Like I said, I've never seen a track do it, but that it seems like a pretty smart way to do it. That's what, 20 feet off the ground there. Those sea containers are what, 10 foot high each.
Yeah.
Well, if you smack one of those, it ain't gonna fucking move. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, but
That's going to send you right back into the park, buddy.
Right
Plus,
back
that gives
into
you
the
a lot
park.
of extra
barreling
storage.
at you.
so what's worse, bouncing off that or bouncing off a plywood sign that's attached to a chain link fence?
Well, this thing here, if you get that something
uh,
that's wrong, you're going to get your asshole through your fucking throat. What's
Well,
going to
that's the
happen?
thing. I saw a video of a sprint car coming to a dead stop using a fence.
Oh, and that one down
I
in
don't-
Australia, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that one in
Yeah,
Dead
Aussie.
stop.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if that was. I don't see a chain link fence stopping a sprint car like that. I think he might have hit the delineate or the dividers.
I
in
think
the
he found a
cable.
hole.
No, he hit one of the poles.
Concrete.
It looked to me like he hit one of those poles that was concreted in there, and that's what stopped him.
Yeah, and it's never good when you come to a sudden stop like that, for sure.
No.
No. But it was like the guy's throttle hung open because
So-
he hit that wall and he was still picking up speed.
Well,
Until he
lifters,
wasn't.
losers.
Hey,
Hey,
some
so
people like to run the top, and they go pretty fast. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Some
the
of us
whole
don't like
adage
to
of,
run the
like,
top.
the whole adage of when in doubt, throttle out doesn't count when your right side tires are on top of the K rail.
Sure it does.
I'm not sure. About
Not
that.
if you can
disagree.
get them off.
Yeah, fuck.
I
Hammer
disagree.
down,
I
see
have-
where it
I
takes
have-
you. All the way to
I've
the
had my
scene of the
right side
crash.
tires up on the K rail and stayed in it and come out of it
Yeah.
straight.
Ugh.
So
It's either gonna
speaking
take
of,
you to the winner's circle or the fucking scene of the crash. You fucking you got a toss up there.
speaking of Caleb, I didn't get to watch his video he posted, but what was this about being on narc probation?
He and Tim Kading, they had an on-track incident where they came together. Honestly, Caleb's a friend of mine. I love him like a brother, but honestly, I think the incident was his fault. He moved up into Tim and spun around, did a 360, did not stop moving, and kept going. Under narc rules, if you do a 360, the yellow comes out, you will go to the back. So he instantly ran, accelerated right up to Tim Kading, and they started playing tag with race cars and showing each other they were number one. He even says in the video that he regrets it. It was a heat of the moment thing. He went and apologized to Tim Kading, and they worked it out. But it was getting pretty ugly. I mean, they were just flat smacking into each other. So go out on YouTube, search Caleb Montgomery, and you'll see his video. He makes great videos. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
And so you'll see all that. But they put him on double super secret probation for on track incidents. And he says, I had it coming. If they'd have black flagged me, I'd have just said okay and pulled off the track. Caleb's a nice guy. He is a passionate racer. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and you get what you get with that. Before we jump off that Santa Maria Speedway thing, I want to show one more thing.
Mm-hmm. Bring it on.
If I can, I can't find it now.
Send it.
And so, just real quick, while Raz is getting this, that goes to my heat of the moment thing I talked about earlier in the car. You're not thinking, you're in the race car, you're doing your thing. And it takes a big man to go afterwards and say, hey, that's on me. I effed up.
Oh, while we're on that topic, did I mention that I talked to Nick Novak after the main event? Because I felt bad for his kid. The rookie starting on the front row, second time in the pure stock. We ended up making contact, so I just said, hey, dude, I want to apologize to you for being the dad, but your kid also, because I did make contact. We made contact and went to the back. I felt bad for the kid.
So this is not part of the track. This is actually out by the highway, if you know anything at all about Santa Maria Speedway. Evidently, they got a deal on some containers.
Right.
Because that's
somebody need
at
to
least
move some stock.
Yeah,
That's
at least
four.
that's at least 4 high and pretty darn decent sign. But
I mean, it looks pretty though.
It
Yeah,
does.
I will tell you this: it warms my heart to have green flag racing back at Santa Maria Speedway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
Anyway.
how did we get those containers for Barona going back local? But somebody was just like, I can't use these. Get them off my property. I think people have a lot, and they're taking up space here. Have them. I don't even want any money for them.
They're harder to get rid of than
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that the tariffs have been dropped with China, we should be seeing a lot more containers coming in the United States, right?
Yeah.
While we're talking about containers coming back to the United States, Dylan Richards in the IMCA Hobby Stocks was the recipient of a claim that doesn't happen very often.
I
But
saw that.
that kid was on a solid heater talking about over 20 wins as a kickoff his season. And the other ones are in the top 5. Most of them were seconds. If he didn't win, he was either second. But somebody decided to claim the old shocks off the old hot rod there at Eagle Raceway in Nebraska. So in his victory lane speech, I sent the video to the group. He doesn't necessarily say what they claim, but he's running a crate motor, which is not claimable. So do a little research, and somebody claimed the old shock package off the old 24.
Speaking of shocks, in
Well,
the
send it.
late model world,
That was the old transition there. See how I
Yeah.
did that?
in the late model world, Jonathan Davenport was doing his interview because he won, and he talked about how great his Penske shocks were, which he's a Longhorn driver, and they don't run Penske shocks. They run Bilstein shocks. As a matter of fact, he as he was talking about those Penske shocks, he had a Bilstein patch on his driving suit. So they're
Well, he kind of shot himself in the foot on that deal.
so they're
Whoops.
saying it might have just been a slip of the tongue. He wasn't really running Penske shocks, and the other thing they're saying is, well, he finally found some speed, and did they find it in those shocks? So there's a little bit of drama over on that world.
Drama.
Drama for your mama. Yeah,
But-
maybe he was looking at a Penske sign while he was giving his interview and just slipped his mind.
I don't know. I mean, somebody's been in Victor's lane however many times he's been in there.
lot.
He's good by now.
He's got a lot of victory lane speeches.
Yeah, that the thing is I don't. He has on a long streak of not winning races, and all of a sudden he got fast. So that means something changed. And really, in the late model world right now, that's where everything's at. It's in the shocks. All the motors are pretty close to the same. Oh God, those guys spend some money on motors. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all on the same tire, and they all have the same body rules.
That's why they blocked the ass end of the car off when it's not on the track, so nobody can see
Right.
what the hell they're running. Because
I'm
Bobby
guilty of it.
Pierce has been on a tear in a damn late model. If anybody gets a hold of them damn shocks, golly almighty.
I'll be completely honest. I had a Hoosier banner. I only ran Hoosiers maybe two races. I had a Hoosier banner across mine. If it wasn't on the track, it was on there.
Right.
Yeah, the late model world pretty much invented hanging banners off the back of your car to keep people from getting a peek.
I do want to point out, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, right? You'll see two street stocks, a black 28, and then a banner that says cheater with an arrow pointing to the 28. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. But that is from my neck of the woods in PA.
That could work.
Speaking of which, I want to give a giant shout out to Matt Tift. Anybody who doesn't know him, he ran NASCAR.
Yeah, I know Matt. I've heard of him. I don't know him.
He won at my home track this past Saturday. First ever super late model win for him.
Nice.
My uncle was not there. He had my uncle blew his motor on Friday.
You're saying if your
So
uncle
you
was
saying that's
there,
the
he
reason he won? One there?
Absolutely. But no, shout out to him.
The whole shock thing, I mean, that goes for us too in the sport mods and modifieds. Like, I have this race, I had a Penske shock on the left rear versus the Integra I normally ran. And the car just holds better. The car stayed up better. The car would hold attitude. It was, I guess I had a Penske on the right front and the left rear. So
You're crossweight, huh?
Yeah, it was good.
It's cross something.
I've ran Integras on the late model. I've ran AFCOs. And there's a giant difference between the two.
Yeah. So I want to know, Joe, what are you going to put on the back of your car about the old 15 there next week?
I don't know yet.
No,
I don't
thinking
know.
about that
I got
though.
a lot of room back there.
Where are we at
You
with
do
this
that.
15 and 38 pure stock deal? Are we done with it, or are we going to have some action next race, or what's the deal?
Hey, I go in every race as a brand new race.
My dad ran hobby stock at San Maria Speedway, and he started out the first race of the season. He put My Dixie on the back of his hobby stock, and he went like 8 races, and finally he had a crash, and the track announcer goes, "Hey, look, My Dixie wrecked."
Your dad was a smart pun.
He was, yeah.
He played the long one on that one.
Right.
All the way.
Joe, what do you happen to think of the driver of the 15?
A few moments later.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and you have to, but I agree that under caution still everybody plays games under caution. But anything outside those walls that is basically dangerous to use your car, I mean, that is not cool.
Well, we've had a discussion on the podcast before. On the track, incidents happen, but when we come off the track, we all are here to do the same thing, and that's race and have a good time.
Right.
We should be able to talk it out as individuals if we're in bad shape, and we can't talk it out as individuals. We shouldn't let that affect us when we don't have a helmet on.
Nope.
Well, and I've always said, go talk it out. You got a lot in common with the guy, because you're both into racing, you're both into dirt track racing. You might find some middle ground. And the thing is, if you don't feel like you can talk to that guy, go talk to one of his friends and say, "Hey, look, man, I need somebody to bridge this conversation for me. Let's reach out. Can we reach out to your buddy so we can have this conversation?" And I think that's important to have, and it does not happen near enough.
No. And I'll be completely honest. I am one of those people that would come up to you, be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I made contact. Wasn't intentional." But that shit under caution pissed me the fuck off, so I didn't even go near him.
Yeah, but this coming race, you should be cleared up by now.
Oh, yeah.
You should be able to have a manly conversation. Hey, whatever happened last time, whatever happened,
Yep. And I'll be the first guy to go to him.
Yeah. The only other thing we didn't talk about last week that we should talk about a little bit was the debate between Shark Racing and Danny Dietrich about the quote-unquote cheater wings on the sprint cars.
What you got?
Yeah,
Well, Danny Dietrich basically called out Shark Racing because there's pictures of the wing that Ashton Torgerson won with that shows the wing dished down at speed. There's all kinds of theories about that. Oh, it's because they danced on top of it before, and it made it dish down like that. But I'll tell you this: I know enough about sprint car wings. Every sprint car wing that of every team comes in a tube about this big. They have to build their wings. They don't come pre-made, and there's ways of making those wings with internal bracing, and you can. Most of your sprint car wings have a 9-inch cord, what they call a cord. So the belly of the wing is 9 inches from the top surface to the bottom surface, and then there's also 7-inch wings. And if you put 7-inch braces in a 9-inch wing, it'll dish down. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what they did, but that if you wanted to do that, that would be a good way to do that. But they back and forth on Twitter and Facebook was pretty funny. My favorite was the Logan Schuart posted a picture and he's holding his baby and he put Danny Dietrich's face on it.
Yeah,
Saw that one.
That's pretty solid troll there.
Cry baby.
I guess they buried the hatchet at the last race and have quit yakking at each other. But I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Right.
Nope.
Paul Silva is being accused of the same thing on Larson's car because he puts on a different wing for qualifying than he does for the race. Well, why would you do that?
My tricks.
They go after anything he does. I mean, they make him put black tape on the visor and like, oh, black tape's the winning thing. That's what we're missing.
Like I'll say this in the late model world, we'll grind the compounds right off our tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no mo, you won't. Their new tire roll.
We grinding them.
On a new tire roll, you can't. If you do that, you're just DQ'd.
Hey, Phil,
I haven't looked at the new rules yet.
how did the RC world go for you? Did you get any racing in?
I did.
In like the last month.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, we haven't talked to you in a while. Tell us about your little RC addiction.
It's addicting. I'm up to like 20 cars now.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
I just built another one. Finished it today. Well, finishing it. I raced. I've been racing the Mini Z a lot, and I've been podium. And I've been racing 2 classes in Mini Z, and I've been podium, doing pretty good. Seconds and thirds in that. But that's not dirt racing, dude. This is a dirt channel.
Well, we haven't heard from you in a while, so people that listen might want to know what happened to Phil,
His addiction is so bad he went to work for an RC shop just so he could support his addiction.
Pretty much.
Right. An employee discount.
No employee discount. No, it's pretty good, man.
No, he just pulls it
I've
off
been
the
doing
shelf.
some testing, knocked a second and a half off my times. It's pretty good.
I just want to know, does 0.01 of a millimeter equate to 1/32 of an inch?
Yes, and I do chase
good.
0.01 of a millimeter.
I know. That's why I asked.
So just so the fans know, Phil is alive and well. He's just been playing RC cars and not wanting to come talk to y'all.
No, that's bullshit. I was under a tree canopy and Starlink, Elon, let's get this figured out. Starlink, for whatever reason, can't pick up the signals through the trees.
Hey, Soper, can Starlink get picked up in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah,
There's no
trees in the
fucking
middle.
trees, dickhead. You must have been a
We
fucking
can figure
motion.
out.
You don't fucking listen, or you only hear what you want to hear. You dumb cocksucker.
We can.
It's weird that a satellite needs line of sight to a satellite to work. It's kind of weird.
What's even more weird is we can figure out how to connect the world across the damn oceans, but we can't talk to our fucking neighbors over Messenger.
No, we can't. Well, it's because you keep running the microwave.
I had to
Drop
mute
the
the
water,
You missed. Did you see last week when he had the 4,500 watt going and blew his whole power out in
Blew
his
the
head?
power right out.
It-
Freaking lost them.
Yeah.
Gone.
I laughed about that.
The only other thing I want to mention was the kid at Santa Maria Speedway who crashed 2 weeks ago and ended up in the hospital in the ICU. They has been released. I forget his name. It's Bryce Eames, Eames.
Yeah.
Bryce Eames. So he's out of the hospital, and I guess he's going to be fine. But they say it's going to be a month out of the race car. I don't know the extent what his specific injuries were, but they were bad enough where he was in intensive care. So that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I don't really have a Chase Johnson update. Bridger, do you know anything going on with Chase?
No, last thing I know about Chase is what I shared last week when he was at Placerville. Just randomly showed up and got just made an appearance out there. Let me see. Let me look him up on Facebook here while we're talking and see if we got any more updates. But yeah, Chase again. It's just going to be a long road for him. But he was out at Placerville. And yeah, it's just the one I shared where his respiratory therapist from UC Davis just happened to be there also, and they got a picture together. But it is nice to see him out and, you know, getting back to a racetrack. I'm sure it's painful for him emotionally, but he'll get back there. Just got to keep putting the work in.
Yeah, he's got a long road ahead of him for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I think it's about time we let Nilden talk about Rico Abreu.
Now,
He's been chomping at the bit for that deal.
he
For a
has
while.
been. That's all he's been thinking about. That's why he dressed nice tonight.
Hey, it hadn't happened yet when I got dressed. I wore this
Hey, did
all
you
day
order something
long.
from Rico's website or something?
Probably Rico's OnlyFans.
I still haven't. I was asking the wife if she'd use it because I won't use it. I use butter. But they sent me a
Whoa! Leave your
allocation.
bedroom antics out of this.
I know,
They
right?
sent me an allocation for some of their olive oil, and it is not cheap. We'll say that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you buy some of that really better be nice olive oil?
I have not. I just, not that it's not good stuff. I just don't know if I'll use it. I mean, I know I won't. Because I'm using Land O'Lakes butter.
Yeah, the freaking Italian that squashed that oil better come with it for that price.
We don't need anybody's cum now. Calm down.
Ouch, easy. Your mind is in the gutter.
Okay,
So,
gather it back up.
But high limits ran at Kokomo Speedway today, or this evening, whatever you want to. And whoop whoop, my boy Rico did it again. So proud of the guy. I think Larson was 5th, Kane was 18th. Good class of field. I'm happy to see that the high limit is continuing on and continuing to push the weekly racing on the off nights.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of stuff that happens on Saturday nights around the country. There's not much anymore that happens during the week.
So was it
Monday,
Was it
right?
Was it Lakeside that Rico drove through the field like a bulldozer to win?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was Lakeside.
Good God!
Yeah, it was Lakeside because 81 canceled that weekend.
I like the guy, but he didn't make any friends that night.
No.
Nope.
Well,
No.
he said that was why he didn't go up top on the wing that night because he didn't want to win that way. So he said,
Hey,
okay, took the win.
They always said, I didn't want to win that way, but they do.
All right.
But I won.
Whatever I can do to win at that point is what I did.
Didn't want to wreck the field, but I mean, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah. I ain't proud of it, but I did it.
Well, and that's what sucks because it took out Brad Sweet, who had one hell of a ride, and kudos to his pit crew for trying to get him back out there. And they did it, and then he had to come back in, and then they damn near did it again. But
Didn't
that's the
it took
first
out-
DNF for Brad Sweet in like 4 years or 5 years or something.
It took Larson out too, didn't it?
It did take Larson out because Larson went
Oh, yeah.
cockpit to cockpit,
Yeah, Larson piled into that sideways.
Dick Pit.
or dick pit to dick pit. Yeah.
Dick pit to dick pit, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but from what they say and what they're describing for Rico's win tonight, it was last lap, last corner pass for the win.
Slide
that's
job.
Coming out of 4 for
I'll be
the
right
win.
back.
Yeah.
I got something to show off. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Clothes
the
on.
replay.
While
Oh,
we're
thank God, he's
waiting
wearing
on him,
pants
I got
tonight.
something to show
Okay,
y'all.
he's wearing pants.
You
Thank
want to
God.
watch some good racing on Thursday night? Flow Night in America is going to be at the Marshalltown Speedway on Flow Racing. So if you want to watch some badass racing, Marshalltown will put on a badass show, and when Castro Night in America shows up to Marshalltown, it is known to be a good one.
It's
Well,
all
I'll say
about
this.
Iowa.
Yeah, I got something to show y'all.
Oh God.
What's he got?
Oh, he got his
Caleb Montgomery.
shirt.
Oh, he got his Caleb shirt.
I couldn't. There we go. You
Nice,
should have
buddy.
started with that side.
I like it.
Jeez. You should
That's
have
pretty sweet.
started with the big side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the lighting. The video would be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
We're all squinting at our screens.
Yeah, Caleb currently has those shirts on sale. If you want them, reach out to him. He'll make it happen for you.
Okay,
So Marshall, can I ask you a question real quick, bud?
who's he keep
just-
talking to? He just did, right?
That T-shirt that you bought, that T-shirt, was that a shirt size smaller?
No, I'm still 2X.
Damn it! You're getting there. You're getting there.
But I'm the same weight I graduated high school at. That being said, I was a middle linebacker when I graduated high school. I was 256
Boy,
pounds.
howdy. 60
What'd you
years
got,
don't look that
Joe?
bad on you, bud.
So, as crappy as I know video is here, I do have the Rico last lap, last corner pass for the win. Pulled up and ready to go. You guys want to see it?
Send it.
Send it.
Absolutely.
Let's send it, buddy.
Hey Joe, whatever you had to show, get that queued up so we can show that next, buddy.
It's ready. It's about ready.
Okay, we're going full screen-ish for this one. So, obviously, Rico the 24. What do we got? Justin Peck here. This is down the back stretch coming into 3 and 4. Oh, Justin's got it. Oh, right there. I mean, that's not even last lap or last corner. That's last 50.
Yeah. I mean, he
So
set it
yeah,
up in the
that's
last corner.
exciting. He did set it up in the last corner, but that's an exciting finish. I'll give you that.
On a Monday night.
On a Monday night, right?
That was a full send of that some bitch there, boy.
And I know we live in California, but Barona is on the Barona Band of Kumeyaay Indians Reservation. I think we need fireworks once in a while. Just throwing that out there to Trish and Eric. And
That
maybe
is
not
not a
big
good
ones,
area
just a
for
little bit.
fireworks.
No,
keep
it's
it
not.
inside the track. Keep it inside, not huge ones. I know. I'm just kidding.
Some Roman candles on the front
But why
straightaway,
couldn't you-
by
why
God.
couldn't you have
Maybe-
those
Yeah, just
propane-
give all the kid drivers Roman candles.
why
Or
couldn't you have the
just
propane flame
sparklers.
pots? You know.
If
they
there's anything, I
do
guess
the-
they'll
the-
shoot each other.
I've got one of those in my yard. I'll bring it out. The propane flamethrowers that you press the thing.
Oh, so I can preheat my tires?
No, I'm not giving you that. You're already in front of me. I don't need you any more in front of me.
Joe, what do you got to bring up?
All right, so at Hummingbird Speedway, one of the longtime drivers over there, first name, his actual name is Marlon Fields, but everybody calls him Fuzzy because he's bald. Well, he drives a street stock. He ended up having a lap car get sideways in front of him and ended up rolling over. This car went. Let's see, how do I do this? Yeah, there we go.
It's the little arrow thing at the bottom to share your screen.
I see it.
Purple crayon got in the way.
Y'all see that?
Nope.
No.
No?
Click that share button and then click on the screen that you want to share, buddy.
You're doing as good as we do, buddy. Don't worry.
There we go.
Yeah, you're fitting right. Oh, there it is.
Give it a second. There it goes. So he is in the black and gold car.
Oh, good God. Little screen. Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Fuck around
He
and
did
find
walk
out.
away just fine.
That's going to take a couple minutes in the shop.
He
Yeah.
he got out of the car, walked away just fine. buddy, everything I've seen, car is
Junk.
probably junk. But the only straight panel on that car was the roof.
Well, that's a good panel to have straight.
Yeah.
Well, on that positive note, let's bring it to a close. I will reach out to Caleb Montgomery, see if we can get him on here next podcast. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Talk
Cody,
to
if you
Zero with him.
Yeah, and Cody Perino, if you want to come on, the offer has been extended and stands open.
Yep.
All right, John, you hit our socials real quick.
We got Dirty Sliders on Facebook, dirty.sliders on Instagram, and at Dirty Sliders on X. We also have patreon.com/ it's the one that goes this way, not this way. dirtysliders.com or Dirty Sliders podcast on Patreon. We got t-shirts. If you guys want us to make a t-shirt, we'll make it, because I happen to know the guy who makes the t-shirts for us. We will make that happen. And if you want a t-shirt, thanks, Phil. If you want a t-shirt next week, well, I won't be there next time at Barona, but come to the 32 Pure Stock Pit anytime at Barona. I will have t-shirts. Right,
Still
Joe?
need my T-shirt.
Absolutely.
Joe's okay. Neil
You're
didn't
gonna
come to
show
the
up to the
32
racetrack,
Pure Stock
Neil,
Pit.
Nilden was there opening night.
He was, but he didn't ask for a t-shirt.
Pretty please,
I got mine.
I
We
think
sold a
Brandon's
shirt
going
on
to
opening
bring
night.
me a T-shirt.
I'll be in
All right.
Mojave for Memorial Day, Race Boys.
Good. That's going to be awesome. You kick ass and take your win that you so much deserve out there, and then come back and win here.
I'm still waiting to hear from Jerry Kobza, but I am hoping to be pit crewing in Indianapolis on Memorial Day weekend.
Awesome.
All right.
yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support.
Later, boys. Later, girls.
Later.
Later.
Don't be square.